Hi, I'm Jenna Cooper. I'm a part of Anchor Student Ministries, and this is how God has changed my life recently. A couple years ago, during my freshman year of high school, I had an awesome group of friends, and we hung out all the time, and it was super fun. But then, over COVID, something changed, and when I went back to school, they were all really mean to me, and they would mock me for doing things that I'd done for years, and every time I, stated a belief, they would make fun of me for that and vehemently disagree with me on that. Every day, I would come home for lunch because I didn't want to eat lunch with them, and if they invited me to a party, I would have to call my mom crying at the end of it for her to pick me up. It was a really terrible time for me, and that lasted throughout my whole sophomore year. So, after the school year of my sophomore year, the bullying kind of stopped, partially because we weren't in school anymore, but also because I had sort of distanced myself from them. But even though the bullying had stopped, I still harbored some resentment in my heart, and I was still bitter towards them. I had been attending Anchor Student Ministries since I was in 8th grade, and this summer, which is the summer after my sophomore year, we did a lesson on forgiveness. And I didn't really apply it to my life or the situation with my friends at that time, even though it was a great lesson. So I was driving home from youth group one night because I wanted to get some work done, and it was dark, it was rainy, the weather was terrible. I see a flashing red light, I stop, look both ways, I don't see anybody. So I go forward, and unfortunately, there was somebody there. So the car is going this way, and I just ram straight into him. And then we all go flying, and it's terrifying. And then I stop, I get out of the car, I'm not hurt. The guy I hit isn't hurt, but there are car parts everywhere. And so then the police come. And then my parents come. The next morning, I wake up, and I sit down with my parents and to talk about the accident, and I'm just sort of like, so, what are we gonna do about this? And they say, well, there are gonna be consequences for your actions, Jenna, but we're gonna have to figure out the insurance and do all sorts of stuff. But it wasn't what they said, it was how they said it, and I could tell that they were gonna treat my mistakes with grace and that they had forgiven me, and it was amazing. After seeing how my parents forgave me for my mistakes, I realized that something needed to be done about the resentment that I still harbored towards my friends who had been mean to me during my sophomore year. I was thinking back towards the lessons that I had learned on forgiveness at Anchor Student Ministries, and I realized that I needed to forgive them, the kids that had bullied me. So I prayed about it for a few days, and then I felt the weight of the resentment on my heart lifted, and I knew that I had forgiven them. Over the past few weeks, God used the lesson taught at Anchor Student Ministries and my parents' forgiveness of the car accident to teach me how I should forgive others in my own life, specifically my friends who were terribly mean to me in my sophomore year. I have taken away from this experience that I need to be more open to what God is saying to me as I grow deeper in my faith.